The Verdant Warden is an ancient species intrinsically tied with nature in the season of spring. It is a tall beast with 6 limbs, curly fur, and blossoming antlers, alongside its signature floating mask all wardens are known to have. Its face is distinctly rabbit-like, and even likes to collect small trinkets like flowers and pebbles, only to give them to other creatures later. While there are multiple Verdant Wardens, the vast majority are female. The species reproduces asexually and follows the Warden pact, alongside all of its memories passed from mother to daughter. Flowers bloom in its footprints. The Verdant Warden is rarely attacked out of gratitude, but there are always mouths to feed in Sonaria. A lone Fabrash is resting in its territory, gathering up energy to hunt. It is not alone in the jungle. Sure, there may be smaller critters to pick off, but why waste this perfect opportunity literally walking right towards it? The Fabrash readies itself for the ambush, waiting for them to come closer. The predator attacks. Both verdants run, along with all of the other creatures in the area. If a verdant is threatened, it will flee for as long as it can, unless running is useless from the start. In this case, the Fabrash is much too fast. The verdant whips around and begins to attack, using its claws to slash at the predator. The verdant is victorious, and the Fabrash runs away in failure. Verdant Wardens are known to help guide others to food, even carnivores. This Oholai family in particular is in desperate need of water. The Oholai babies are dying to cry out for any sign of water. The verdant spots the poor Oholais and approaches them to help. The Oholais accept the verdant's assistance, knowing it is her duty to help the lost. She guides the family to the quiet little pond in Redwoods, which has fresh water for all to drink. The Oholai herd bows to the Verdant Warden in gratitude and goes off to continue their wandering throughout Sonaria. This female verdant travels to the Flower Cove to nest in her child. She will protect her nest, as it is a female warden's duty to raise her own. The Verdant Warden is part of the Warden's Pact. All Warden species applicable to this pact are asexual, and will have children until a female heir has hatched. A wandering Yamatu attempts to steal her egg that is almost ready to hatch. Yet was too cowardly to go in for it. A mother verdant's body shuts down upon its female successor becoming an adult and disintegrates into a flurry of flower petals. Luckily for this mother verdant, she manages to nest in a male. When a female heir becomes an adult, the parent will take their life, repeating the cycle. The Verdant Warden is a nomadic beast who ventures across Sonaria, often thought of as bringing luck and prosperity wherever it goes. Currently, they spot a playful herd of fugus near the central pond, along with some content shiaros. They spot the graceful Verdant Warden and her child. While wardens aren't necessarily worshipped, the fugus bow to them out of respect. Being naturally playful, the baby verdant goes toward the herd and begins to chase, jump, do whatever to have fun with them. The beast rarely stops in one place for too long, only pausing to rest and chat with others. But there may be some exceptions on some joyous occasions, such as this. Eventually, it is time to depart from their newfound friend. They say their goodbyes and continue on their path. Speaking of this now relaxing herd of fugus, they always make sure to stay near water in case of danger. They are about to need that water more than ever now. Dialecturas are one of the most intelligent hunters in Sonaria. They are typically in packs of 4, but 2 can still pack a horrible punch. They go in for the kill. And unfortunately, they have secretly observed one particular fugu in the herd that is not the brightest. The fugu runs, and not towards the water. Another life is lost. The mother and son now travel towards Pride Rocks. The mother will show the beauty of Sonaria and the skills needed to survive it. But she always makes sure to teach her children about the importance of making connections. This baby in particular is quite jumpy and loves to run circles around its mother. She makes sure to keep him in check. As the excited baby verdant scares off a sleeping phyla by the water, they see an interesting figure in the distance, with a trail of smaller ones behind it. The interesting figure is a buff Eulope, who has its own army of regular Eulopes trailing it. The buff Eulope welcomes the verdants with open arms, almost quite literally. The baby verdant, now with new playmates, rejoices. Time passes by, and while the verdant family has gone to travel and learn about new things in Sonaria, they always come back to their special home with the Eulopes. A certain phyla swoops in and gives a cherry, a common act of kindness amongst phylums. The Eulopes happily take the fruit and jump out of pure joy. Those silly little plants. A Verdant Warden always remembers a face. If a Verdant Warden happens to find a pack it has met before and one of its members is missing, the Warden will grieve for it. Despite the fact that it has been a while since they've last seen each other, the Verdant knows that one fugu is missing. Their loved one is gone. They sit next to the fugus for a while, a silent understanding going between both species. As what happens to all verdant mothers, they must let their child go. Once her son grows to adult, they will separate so he can live life to the fullest without the care of his mother. The mother and son say their bittersweet goodbyes. and after he turns to look at his mother one final time, he runs off to start his own adventure. While it is the female's duty to reproduce and keep the species alive, males devote themselves to other activities as a form of self-fulfillment. Male verdants are adopted into herbivore packs to help raise younglings and forage food for them. Fortunately for this one, there is a herd of Oholai relaxing at the edge of the volcano island, almost like they are waiting for him. Oholais are passive and extremely friendly to those who aren't trying to eat them. After a moment of studying the stranger, the Oholai herd happily takes in the lone male. The male verdant leads its newfound herd to start a new life, guiding these apple-like wanderers to new sights. Despite the many friendships and close bonds a verdant might make with any species, there is only one that it has a true bond with. This Verdant Warden has traveled all the way across Sonaria to meet it. This creature thrives in the swamp and often does not let anyone near its territory. But the Verdant Warden is always an exception. The verdant awaits the Ardor Warden as it takes a drink from a little pond. The Ardor and Verdant are close companions. Verdant Wardens often visit their friend on their travels, the two sharing stories and resting together before the Verdant Warden departs. Unlike Verdant, only one Ardor Warden exists, its soul rebirthing itself into a young body upon passing. Even if a newly born verdant does not know or seek out the Ardor Warden, the two are intrinsically drawn together and are bound to meet. This natural bond began when the first verdant met Ardor and learned about its immortality. As they stroll together in the mystical swamp, they spot a large resting being in the distance. The Ardor recognizes the creature from anywhere. They carefully approach the creature, making sure not to startle it. It is but a lonely Oxytalis, resting next to a large swamp tree. Oxytalis and Ardor also have a close bond, spanning almost as long as Ardor and Verdants. They rest their heads on each other, taking in each other's calming presence. The first verdant died out of overwhelming sadness towards Ardor's life, creating the beautiful monstrosity known as Oxytalis. This Verdant Warden in particular is not as familiar with the giant plant. The Ardor turns toward the worried Verdant, showing the beast isn't as dangerous as it appears. The Oxytalis stomps toward the Verdant and bows. The Verdant as well to the Oxytalis. The Oxytalis reaches behind it and grabs a ripe cherry, a gift for the Verdant. The Verdant happily accepts the offer. The three powerful beings take a much-needed rest, the bond between them even stronger when they are near each other. The bond that can never be broken. The bond that will live through them for the rest of eternity.